Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Mike and today we are going to be swatching all of my Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadows. And the reason why I wanted to showcase Lethal Cosmetics is because they are a German indie brand that do singles that have a very clever tool that allow you to build your own palettes as well. I very often find that single shadows are very much like a US only kind of deal, and it can just be so tough to find great accessible single shadows when you're living not in the US and you don't have to pay a ton for shipping. It does depend on where you live, how expensive it gets. For me, I believe over 60 or 65 euros, you get free shipping from Germany to the Netherlands. So for me, getting one of these palettes pretty much got me free shipping, if I remember correctly. I may have gotten like one shade extra, or I believe getting an extra shade or paying for shipping comes out to the exact same amount of money. So for me, it's always like pretty doable, you could say. I believe the shadows itself retail for 6 euros a pop, and then you can put them into one of these palettes. I made the white one first, and then I made the black one, and they do these like curated color stories with like little mini collections that come out. They also have a fully curated palette, so if you're not someone who likes to make eyeshadow palettes yourself, if you don't really know where to start, but you want to try the brand, then you can still make that work as well. I compiled both of these myself. Lethal is a brand that seems to have mostly warm tones, I do have to say. So that's why mine look like this. This is the one I built first. That's the white one. I'm not sure anymore what that palette is called. I think the Synergy palette. And this is the Hive palette, which is the black one. And I decided to get two palettes so that I know which color story kind of goes in which one. I do have one more shade by Lethal, but it is in my Cool Toned custom palette, which is this one right here, and it's this one right here. So I'm going to take this one out because it's a grungy shade that could very nicely actually work in this palette. So I went with something like more bright for like the spring summertime. I think I also made this around like spring summertime, and this one I made a little bit more for like the fall time, murkier ones. This is pretty much based around their, what was it called again? Skyward and Landfall collection, and I just swapped some of the shades out that weren't exactly my cup of tea. I always have a little mishap with singles, it seems. I always dig my nail in somewhere when I take them out, but yeah, this is sort of the color story that we're working with from Lethal Cosmetics. I will be making sure to put the shade name on the screen. I don't know them from the top of my head, and I do want to keep them in the palette so I don't have to look it up. However, I have a dedicated blog post up with this palette, and I have a palette bingo with this one up with this palette, so I can make sure to link you to those two pieces of content that I've already made with them, and then we can just swatch these out so you can really see the color stories. So I'm going to start here because it's the one that I built first, and as you can see, it sort of ties together some of my favorite shades, which is greens, sort of blues, and purples, and then it has a couple of like more neutrally kind of shades here as well. I only went with 5 mattes and mainly shimmers because I prefer shimmers over mattes. And I believe this one up here is called Vertex. It's a stunning like lime green kind of shade. So this is very bright and poppy for sure. I think these are the only like very muted shades, and then you get these like teals going into blues, and then you get these like pinky purples towards the bottom. And I kind of wanted this palette to go with this but still do something different, so that's again why we have some purples, blues, and greens, but then we also get these like darker mattes so that if I want to use this as one giant palette, I can. I definitely got this one as a separate to get free shipping, and I knew I was going to put this in my Cool Tone palette. So I think I'm just going to start with this top row here, and let's swatch because these are amazing quality. They blend really, really well. I really like these. People have been leaving me comments saying like they're hard to get and whatnot from where they live. But yeah, that could be if you're not in Europe. And I think it really depends also where in Europe you live, how easy these are to get. So that would be that top row right there. And that would be the other row just above it right here. Swatched with a finger, these two shades right here look very similar, but I hope you can see that this one is just a lot brighter than the other one. So this is more of like an inner corner highlight for me, and then we get this nice like tealy matte, and I love this like teal shimmer. It's my favorite shade. I believe it's called, I'm not sure if it's this one or this one, I always mix them up, but one of these two is called Equilibrium, but you will have already seen that on the screen by now. And then over here to the right of those swatches, I swatched the other 4 shades. So this is that matte over here, and then that teal in the bottom row. And then we have the purple and that like pink. So this is a pink, but it's got a purple flash, as you can see. And I feel it really sort of adds a spark of something different. And especially if you put a shade like that with these like green shades, it works really, really well. And then with this, you can make a more like neutral green tone look. This to top things off, or just with that matte, and with that, it just looks really, really stunning. So it's sort of like everything that I wanted. And then we move on to Lethal Cosmetics palette number 2. And as I already told you, it's more grungy, but then it does have a pop of something bright. And I got this deep dark gray to round it off. They seem to, in terms of cool tones, they mainly seem to do grays. And to me, every shade can be cool toned, not just grays. So for me, Lethal Cosmetics can really sort of like do more colorful shades and also like some more cooler tone browns and taupes. Then I would definitely make another palette by them, but right now I don't want to. So this palette is perhaps doesn't look like something I would wear because it got these like warm tones, but I went for like more like maroon and reddish toned leading reds and shades and like berries. And I feel that that is a kind of warm tone I might still wear. Plus I think it's a nice like juxtaposition with like some of the greens and the blues that are in here. So this palette is like, this is just sort of like I kept all the colors together kind of thing. And here it's sort of like, it kind of tricks your eye a little bit more. So it's perhaps a bit more confusing. But I've got some greens here. Yeah, and we've got one super bright blue, and then this like grayish tone blue, and then we've got some like purpley shades over here, and then we've got those like maroony browns and berries over here. So that's sort of how the color story plays together, but I am going to swatch it row for row. So that would be the first row. So we've got that purple, and then that matte like periwinkle kind of bluish purple kind of shade. And then we have a stunning cranberry. I just love a shade like this. And then that matte, which is just a really, really good transition shade that can go also with some of the mattes that are in here, or with that plummy sort of berry, like that sort of matte here, and then with that purple and that purple combined. So I definitely wanted to be able to play together with this. And then this lighter purple goes with that purple too. So that's sort of how this one works. And then that would be the second row right there. We have that really nice matte, like almost sea foam kind of shade. And I feel it works really well with some of these shimmers in here. And then you also get that really bright minty green, which again goes really well with some of the greens that are in here. And then that purple, as I mentioned, really nice with the purple that goes on in here. And this blue, like it's a navy, but it's very gray toned. And I just love that, like that together. That's just amazing. So I definitely bought this to sort of be able to play with the other palette for sure. And now we just have one more row to swatch. And these are all matte. So in this palette I went with just 4 shimmers and everything else is matte. So there we have that entire palette. These are the 4 bottom shades. So that's the green, the blue, the berry shade, and that really stunning like reddish brown. I didn't really have a good deep shade that could deepen things up, and I feel that this, for instance, again with the pink and the purple and also with some of these greens, it works really well. Perhaps not with the teals all that well, but with, I believe in the palette bingo I had both of these shades coming up and it worked really well in the end. And then we have just one more shade before I keep talking. This one I can look up what it's called. This is Rise from the Ashes. And this is really stunning. So let me put that one over here. Like, that's so stunning. So there are all the swatches. So I do want to say that perhaps some of the mattes don't really look the best in a finger swatch. especially some of the deeper shades. These are a little bit on the powdery side, I have to say, but they are really, really pretty once they go onto the eye. I'd rather have a matte that I need to build up to be able to really fluff it into my crease than something that's super, super difficult to, you know, once it just like gets into your crease, it takes ages to blend out. Like, I'm someone who prefers to build things up. That's why I also have some of these lighter shades, because they can very easily blend things out, I find. So yeah, these are the colors that I have in that second Lethal Cosmetics palette. Don't be fooled by how well the shimmer swatch versus the mattes. All of these shades work incredibly well. Finger swatches never tell the whole story, remember? So there you have all of my Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadows that I currently have. At this point, I don't really think the brand has announced anything new yet, but I think they might be. They seem to be, like, I think that Landfall Skyward collection was, I think, released last fall, and I think this summer they did something with more like neon brighter shades. So I definitely hope that they're going to come out with some new things for sure. But I wish the brand would do some more cool tones. These are currently the only shades in their makeup line that really appeal to me, which is why I built these two palettes. At this point in time, I'm not looking to buy more Lethal Cosmetics shades, but if they come out with new stuff and I can fill up an entire palette, I would definitely do it, because I also think, these palettes are just incredibly clever. Like, they are the perfect size to take with you. They have that mirror. They are very sturdy. The shadows stay put very, very well. And actually, when you buy these, each individual pan also comes in its own little magnetized carton, which I think is really, really clever. It may not be the best for recycling and the environment, but that also means that if you just buy one shade and you keep the packaging, you can very easily make it portable and keep it in your collection. I find very often with single shadows, the packaging they come in is very fragile. I actually had a Cliona multichrome break on me when I unwrapped it just because of how it was packaged. And I mean, there's nothing the brand can do because they just have these like little cardboard envelopes, but you can't really reuse the packaging. And I find that with Lethal, you can. I, of course, threw away mine. I don't think I kept it. I did keep one around for a while, but then because I got this palette, where this shade now lives, I threw that one away, I'm sure. So, and I just really like the design. Like, I love the little logo that they have for themselves. Lethal Cosmetics is just such a great indie brand that I think a lot more people need to know about. And that's why I wanted to dedicate a full video to their eyeshadows and swatching all, what is it, 25 of them for you, because I really love these. I just finished the other day doing 3 looks with this palette. So I think I now have pictures for like 4 different looks. So hopefully soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be reviewing this on my blog as well. The review for this one is already up. And as I said, I have a palette bingo with this one. So if you want to see more Lethal Cosmetics, then please let me know, because I can definitely make that work. The review of this is definitely going to come up soon. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like my Slytherin socks. And yeah, I hope you would like to stay tuned, because of course, I've got loads more single shadow content coming to you this week. I'm posting a video every single day all about eyeshadow, but they're all singles this time. So I really hope you enjoyed watching it. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. And then I hope to see you tomorrow with another single shadow video. So I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.